Hello friends, welcome to In the Studio with Pyramid Dye Works. I am Liz, also known as Pyramid Dye Works. I am coming to you from my home outside of Taos, New Mexico in the southwestern United States. I'm a knitter and a natural dyer, and I also dabble in all of the other fiber crafts, spinning, weaving, sewing, etc. I have a lot to cover today. I have gotten through a lot of projects. The last couple of times I have joined you, I've had too many whips. All of a sudden, I'm looking around and I don't have enough whips. Everything kind of finished at the same time. I think I've had one new finished object every week for the last 3 weeks, which has been kind of amazing, but all of a sudden, I don't really know what to do with myself. So I've broken into some old whips that have been abandoned for quite a long time. I'm going to try and finish those up and really get my needles cleared off. I'm also taking an assessment of my sock drawer and wondering, do I have enough hand knit socks? Do I really need to keep knitting more hand knit socks? I think my drawer might be full, so we'll take a look at that. Spring is nearing, despite the fact that there is snow on the ground outside and I had a fire in my wood stove last night. It is technically spring. And looking at the extended forecast going out this week, the rest of the week is going to be in the mid 70s. It's not getting below freezing at night. Close. The lows are like 35 or something. So no hard freezes. So this is the week. We're going to get out in the garden. Spring starts are going to go in. Spring seeds are going to go in. I've got a lot I need to do in the garden this week. And that also means that the dye studio is open for business again. I did get out there last week and started with some indigo and did a little bit of indigo dyeing, and then the weather turned. We had some crazy windstorms. We've had this snowstorm. It's been cold again, but it seems like maybe this was our last hurrah and we're headed headlong into spring. So I should be spending a lot of time outside from this point forward, which is pretty exciting. And also on the dye studio front, I have had a yarn delivery, this gigantic box. It looks really small from here, but it's a big box of yarn. It's all the way back here on my dining room table for scale. It's a really big box of yarn. It's very heavy. That is yarn that has arrived from the mill for summer natural dyes. Kaysa has just come over to say hi. Do you want to help up, Kaysa? Say hi. Come on. Oh, what a good boy. Oh, Kaysa. He's not going to turn around now. Oh, there we go. Oh, what a good Kaysa. Okay, buddy. Okay. Oh, you're going to give me a hug. Yeah. All right. He's a little lover. The other exciting thing, as you just saw, I finished my porcelain sweater. So maybe this isn't quite technically done. It needs to be blocked halfway. So I already blocked the body before I picked up for the sleeves. So the sleeves have not been blocked and the collar hasn't been blocked. So I think you could tell the difference. I could definitely tell the difference in person. The sleeves still feel a little bit stiff and just the itty bittiest bit short, right? So after it blocks out, I think it's gonna be more like this, judging by what the body did when I blocked it. It should fit a little bit more like this and have a little bit more drape to the sleeve. And yeah, the neckband still feels like a little bit stiff, and that'll just kind of relax out. It's this beautiful double folded neckband. The pattern is the porcelain sweater from Lay Knit. It's got the 3 different colorwork bands. The pattern is written to knit this entire top portion flat, the colorwork flat, and then you join in the round underneath the arms, and then you start working in the round. So you can knit your color work in the round. I did not want to do that. Knitting color work flat is possible. I have done it. It's not particularly enjoyable. And I figured I would rather steek. I'm also used very rustic wool in this. It's, well, sticky wool. I don't know if I would say rustic, partially rustic. It is a Isair Tivini, which is a lace weight wool yarn held together with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair. So the soft silk mohair I wouldn't exactly call rustic. It's quite soft and luxurious, but the Isair is quite rustic. So rustic wool and mohair, it is a very sticky combination. So I was not concerned about steeking for the armholes at all. And in fact, I did that without any reinforcement, and it has turned out just great. No issues. Beautiful. I did have one of those situations when I was picking up for one of the sleeves where I kept picking up like an enormous amount too many stitches, like 20 too many stitches. I don't know why. The first sleeve I did, I got it like right out the gate. The second sleeve, I kept picking up like 20 too many stitches, and I did it like 5 times. And each time I swore I was picking up less stitches. I was skipping more, yet I would end up with the exact same 20 too many stitches like 4 times in a row. Finally, I figured it out, but good God, that was a frustrating morning. I don't know if you guys have ever had one of those situations where it just seems cursed. There's no reason why this should be happening, but for some reason, the count just keeps being off. But I persevered. She's done. She just needs a block on the sleeves and the neckline. I was considering just doing a steam block just to get it done so I didn't have to reblock the whole thing. This is probably the last day I'll be able to wear this year. And it's Sunday, which means I have my knit group, which means I'm just gonna wear it unblocked. I'm gonna wear it unblocked today, and then I'll just reblock the whole thing because I'm not gonna feel pressured to say, oh, I don't wanna have to wait for it to dry so that I can wear it. Like today's the day. I'm gonna wear it today with the unblocked sleeves, and then I'll block it proper and put it away for the summer. So that's finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is a t-shirt. I finished my Tolsta tee. It's so cute. I've already worn it out. And this is a pattern by the Crayabea, Rebecca Clow. I'm not quite sure what it's listed under in Ravelry, if it's her name or if it's the Crayabea. But it's a super customizable t-shirt. You can do whatever variations you want, and there's instructions about adding stripes, adding eyelets, lace motifs, or adding texture motifs. It also has optional bust shaping, which I have included, and does not interfere with the striping pattern, which is very cool. Yeah. So the yarn I used for this was Bergerie de France, or Berge de France? I don't know how you say it. My second language is German, so I pronounce all of the letters. Bergerie de France, Francais. And that's the main color, this sort of sagey green. It's a superwash merino. The white is Double Sunday from Sandnes Garn. They are both DK weight yarns, and this is a DK weight pattern. I believe she also has a fingering weight version as well. Even though it's DK weight and it is knit in all wool yarns, the fact that the sage green is superwash and the fact that it's at a pretty loose gauge. I knit this up on size US 7s, I think. 7s for the body and 5 for the ribbing, I believe, is what I used. So it is a fairly loose gauge. So it's not overly warm. But it is a great layer for springtime when it's not, you know, like sweltering hot outside. It's just pleasant. So I'm very happy with this. I wasn't quite sure whenever I first tried it on after I finished knitting it about the fit. It felt a little bit snug, like not super snug, but it was kind of felt like zero ease. There was nothing flowing about it. It felt not quite as t-shirty as I was expecting. But after I blocked it, it's fine. That's what I suspected was gonna happen. I didn't panic. I just blocked the thing. And now it does have just a little bit more flow to it. It's not oversized, I will say that. And I didn't have enough yarn to make a larger size either. So I'm glad that I picked the size that I picked. And it's a great fit. It does have the bust shaping, so it flows with my particular curves just right. It's not stretching in any weird spots. So it has consistent ease over the body. Really happy with the outcome. I'm sure I will end up making another Tolsta tee in my future with a different kind of yarn, maybe doing just a plain one in a more interesting colorway, or in a different fiber using linen or cotton, or adding in some texture. I don't know, lots of options. I have one other finished object. Finished, we're gonna go a little iffy on finished, but I'm gonna call it finished because whatever. It's these socks. So they're not quite finished. You can see they are still on the needle. And I do have the second sock. Oh my gosh, you can really tell. Okay. So all I have to do on this is the Kitchener stitch to finish it off. I'm doing a tubular bind off. I have already done my setup rows. I just need to do the sewn bind off part of it. So this guy's already done. Got nice stretchy tubular bind off there. And these socks I knit up out of Retrosaria Pomar Mondim, yes, with an M. My cat got a hold of this label. She loves paper. She likes to chew on paper, so she wasn't chewing on the yarn. She was legit just chewing up the label. She will chew on mohair though. Mohair or spinning fiber, she'll get all up in that. Anyway, so it's knit up out of Mondim in two different sort of corresponding colorways. And this is a non-superwash sock yarn. I've really been wanting to try this for a long time, and I'm excited to see how it wears. But I didn't really think ahead. In this first sock, I just knit to my regular sock dimensions, neglecting to remember that if you're knitting socks in a non-superwash yarn, you should really knit them about 10% longer than you normally would to account for the inevitable bit of felting that's going to happen on the foot. Like it just is going to happen. That's the nature of non-superwash socks, is they will felt. So I didn't do that on the first sock. I thought about it for the second one and I knitted a little bit longer. So they're not quite the same. Can you tell? Yeah, you can see it. It's about 10% longer, right? I just knit a few extra rows. So there's a very significant chance that I may have to rip the toe off of this first sock after I've worn these a couple of times and knit an extra, 5 or 6 rows maybe, and either re-knit the toe or re-graft this toe back on. Kesa, you're fine. You're fine, buddy. He's barking at the door. So I'm going to consider these done, even though they're not technically done. And also I'm probably going to have to redo the toe at some point, but calling it done. And that brings me to the conundrum that I think I have enough socks. I think I have enough hand knit socks. All I really do is wear hand knit socks when I do wear socks. I really traditionally, like especially as a kid, I hated wearing socks. My feet and my hands too tend to sweat a lot when I get hot. And I grew up in Texas, so it was always hot. So I basically just wore sandals or shoes that I didn't have to wear socks with, like all the time. As much as I could get away with because I hated wearing socks. Because all of my socks, I realize this now, it's because all of my socks were cotton and my feet tend to sweat, and wet cotton socks, damp cotton socks are very uncomfortable and will give you blisters. Now that I'm older and I realize how amazing wool is and its wicking properties and keeping you dry from the outer moisture and also from your own inner moisture, it will pull it out away from your body, which helps you also stay warm because it's keeping the sweat off of your body whenever you're outside exercising and it's cold, right? So I wear my hand knit socks all the time. Like I wear my hand knit socks in boots all the time, just like out walking around. Like I'm not precious with them in any way. I run them through the regular washing machine. I'm not going to be able to do that with a non-superwash. Usually I have superwash yarn for socks, so I just run them through with a regular laundry. I don't have a dryer. I line dry all of my clothes, so I don't put the socks in the dryer. Caveat. I will throw them in with a regular laundry, but they do get hung up on a line. So ever since I started knitting 15 years ago, I've really had a goal of having all hand knit socks. And it's been just recently that I've noticed I don't get through the entire rotation of my hand knit socks before laundry day. So that means there's a few pairs of socks that just keep not getting worn and they keep sitting in the drawer. And I don't want that. I want them to be in rotation. If they end up just sitting there, they're going to attract moths. I just know it. I did actually find that I had a pair of socks that I hadn't gone through. I hadn't gotten to them in my rotation in like several washes. And I pulled them out and I found little moth bits in it. And I was like, oh my God, they're in my sock drawer. Commenced panic, pulled it all out, cleaned out the drawer, you know. But I don't want to have stuff sitting around that I'm not moving, I'm not turning all the time, because that's a recipe for disaster. So I'm finishing up these socks and I'm realizing, oh my God, I think I actually don't need to cast on another pair of socks. I've always had a pair of socks on the needles. Whenever I finish one, I just start the next pair because you always have a skein of sock yarn in your stash, right? I still have several skeins of sock yarn in my stash, but I think I have enough socks. So I'm not quite sure what to do at this point. There is one pair of socks. These are about to fall out of rotation. The bottoms are just about worn through. I've had these for years. They are naturally dyed. I dyed the foot with indigo and the toes with walnut. The yarn I used for the foot part, the base yarn, was Knit Picks Felici. So you can buy Knit Picks undyed yarn to dye yourself. It's pretty great. They also do have it in bulk. You can buy them in like 20 skein quantities, and you don't have to have a wholesale account. You get a great discount on it in the sort of the bulk ordering. That's how I got started dyeing, was getting my bases from Knit Picks, because I didn't want to commit to like a gigantic box like that yet, right? Like I'm still learning, I'm still experimenting. So if you're interested in dyeing anything yourself, do take a look at Knit Picks options, because you can get smaller quantities and still get a good deal on it. And you don't have to have a wholesale. Anyway, point being, that's the base yarn I used, but it's about worn through at this point. I've been wearing these socks for years. They have been in my rotation, for at least 5 years, I think. And they're finally wearing through on the bottom to the point where I don't think it's going to be worth fixing them, because it's basically the entire sole is threadbare. And I can feel it whenever I put them on. They don't really feel all that warm anymore either. So I'm like, okay, these socks are phasing out and I'm phasing in a new pair. So maybe that's what I need to do moving forward, is say, once a pair of socks wears out, I can cast on another pair of socks. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Have you ever run into a conundrum like this, where you suddenly realize maybe your wardrobe is full and you don't need another sweater? You don't need another pair of socks? What are your thoughts? That moves us on to whips. Since everything else is done, I've pulled my orange sweater back out. I keep calling it the orange sweater. It's the Tuku sweater by Sasky & Co., formerly The Petite Knitter. And I showed this a few episodes back. I had knit almost the whole thing and it ended up too big, and I ripped the whole thing out and started over. And I'm a good over halfway through the yoke at this point. There's 3 major motifs, and I am almost halfway through the 3rd motif. Yeah, so I suspect I'll probably work on this at my knit group today, because it's the only garment that I have on the needles right now, which is kind of wild. What can I say about this? I'm knitting it twice. I'm knitting the whole thing twice, and I'm still very much enjoying it. It's a lovely chart that is very addictive, that is like just challenging enough, but just geometric and repetitive enough. I'm loving it. I thought this sweater was gonna kind of sit around until the fall, and I would just occasionally put some work on it. But I'm now realizing that I don't have any other garments on the needles, and I do have my next up ready. I need to swatch, but I decided I want it to be a birthday cast on, which means I can't cast it on until May. It's currently April 6th. So I'm gonna work on this for April and just see how far I get. And then I could set it aside and it can hang out until the fall. But that's the plan with this one. The yarn I'm using is Durarum Natura Ulysses, and it's flippin' gorgeous. I am loving this yarn. It's so bouncy, it's so plump, it's so delicious in color work and knitting up so evenly without blocking even. And also, mind you, this has all been knit up once before. I unraveled the entire sweater, and it's not holding the crimp that used to be in there at all. Like, it's magic yarn. I'm really, really enjoying working with it. So that is Tuku from Sasky & Co. Yeah, it's got this nice mock neck, which I'm excited about. So I looked at my pile of whip bags this morning, and I said, okay, I have that sweater. What else is up here? And I pulled this one out. Ooh, I haven't looked at this in a long, long time. It's a brioche hat. It's an impromptu brioche hat. I had this beautiful skein of yarn. I mean, this color is gorgeous. That I picked up. I went to YarnCon in Chicago 2 years ago. Oh, I don't have the label in here. Oh, I think my cat ate the label. I'm having a memory of that. Anyway, I picked this up when I went to YarnCon up in Chicago 2 years ago, which I believe is also happening this weekend currently. So I have had this skein of yarn for exactly 2 years. It's from Lavender and Loon. Beautiful, beautiful tonal. I just couldn't really resist it. And it was also a really interesting blend of fibers, and I don't remember what it was now. It was Cormo and something else. And I don't have the label because my cat ate it. So I can't tell you, I'm sorry. I bought just one skein and thought, I don't know, I think it wants to be a hat. And I sat on it for a while, and then I think I even cast on a different hat And I was like, no, this isn't what it wants to be. And I tore it out and I was like, I think it just wants to be brioche. Like it wants to be a nice, squishy brioche with the cormo. Cormo is such a bouncy wool and whatever else it's mixed with that I don't remember. But I was like, I think it wants to be brioche. And I'm not a super experienced brioche knitter at all. In fact, so much so that I'm going to have to watch a tutorial on how to do brioche stitch again before I start working on this. I had had a mistake in the brioche and I needed to tink back, and that's when this got put away. So I tinked back this morning, like 2 or 3 rounds, to get back to a point that was before where I had made a mistake and it had like laddered down a few stitches. And I don't know enough about brioche to fix it. So I just tinked back and we're going to carry on. I'm going to watch a tutorial on how to do brioche stitch again. And then I'm just going to count my stitches, do even decreases, and just make a little beanie style. But I have quite a bit of yarn left, so I would like to knit this a little bit longer. Right now, right, like if I start doing the decreases right now, it would just straight up be a beanie, right? Without being able to fold the brim up, which I don't know if I really want that. I kind of like just the beanie style, but I have so much yarn left. That I'm gonna give it a little bit more height before I start the decreases. So I at least have the option that I can roll up the brim or I could have a little slouch, either way. So I'm pulling this back out in hopes that I'll actually finish it this time. I'm pretty sure this has gone into hibernation twice at this point. I don't know why accessories are so hard for me to commit to, but sweaters, I don't know. What is it with that? Like, why are the smaller projects less engaging? And I have this in one of the only like proper project bags that I have, but I love it. It's from the Fat Squirrel. It's got these sweet little moths on it. Moths protecting my knits. And it's got the little handle. I love the little handle. And it's a really nice zipper too. Like a really nice zipper. It's a great bag. Just, I like her. Anyway, that's all of my knitting whips. Oh, I also broke out my spinning wheel recently. It's been a while since I've done any spinning. And honestly, I think I tend to gravitate towards spinning when my anxiety is really high. It's more of a full body activity because you're using your feet on the treadle, right? And you're using your hands. There's something more meditative about it to me than knitting. And whenever my anxiety is really high, that's usually a better solution for me than knitting. So I've been spinning. I wonder why. State of the world. Number 1. I know, should I even bother talking about this? I was just clearing off a bobbin. So I had done some hand spun for Secret Santa, actually. And I was crunched for time to get it done for the Secret Santa party. And I wasn't able to ply quite the whole thing. So I still had 2 bobbins with a good bit of singles. I mean, look how much I got off of it still. And I went ahead and plied those together. So now I'm going to have a little bit left over of the yarn that I ended up gifting at my Secret Santa last year. So whenever I started spinning this up, I wanted to see how thin I could spin. I was just curious. I just wanted to challenge myself. And I spun up a 2-ply lace weight. Like, it's consistently thin. It's flippin' gorgeous. I bought this fiber when I was back up in Portland, Oregon visiting last year, and I went to the Rose City Yarn Crawl. So this is from a farm, I can't recall the name, in Scio, Oregon. and it is Polypay, which is an interesting sheep braid. It's a more recent developed sheep braid. I think it was developed in the 1970s. And yeah, it's kind of awful. Like, it's called Polypay because I think it's good for fiber and meat. So you get paid multiple times as the farmer. That's Polypay. Anyway, I knit a sweater out of a Polypay blend yarn once, and I found it to be a really, really interesting yarn. It had so much memory and so much bounce to it. And reading up a little bit about the Polypay, it sounded like they had a pretty strong crimp in their fiber, which explained it a lot to me. I actually had a lot of trouble getting gauge using that yarn because it had so much bounce back. I remember I knit my gauge swatch, and once I blocked it, it just like shrank up. And it was like, oh wow, that's not gonna work. So I was really interested whenever I saw they had Polypay fiber that I could spin with. I was like, oh, this is great. So I'm gonna get to learn more about Polypay. So apparently all that crimp makes it really easy to spin really thin. And it's this really neat colorway that after it plied together, I keep calling it like Dusty Victorian. It's very fun. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know how much yardage this is, but I don't know. It's kind of speaking to me like colorwork mitts with this as the colorwork part. That's what it's saying to me. What is it saying to you? Yeah, so I'll be interested to get this off of the bobbin and get it washed and yeah, make a plan. Also, after I got those bobbins cleared, then I started spinning this. This is some fiber that I picked up at the Taos Wools Fest last year, which I was also vending at with my naturally dyed yarns. And this is from Taos Sunflower. She had the booth across the aisle from me and was one of the only vendors. There were a couple of vendors who had spinning fiber, and I'm pretty sure I bought from both of them. I bought from the ones that I saw anyway. And she was one of the ones who had spinning fiber. So I was just like staring at it the whole weekend. So like, okay, before I leave on Sunday, I need to go over and buy some spinning fiber. So I ended up getting, I'm pretty sure I bought this braid because it has pink and orange together. So this is one full 4-ounce braid spun up. It is a BFL silk blend, 75% BFL, which is Blue Face Leicester, and 25% silk. That's why you get that sheen on it, that shine. That's the silk. And I think this is going to spin up once it's plied to probably like a heavy sport weight DK, something around there. That's my suspicion. I'm not a super experienced spinner, and I am not a technical spinner. I am learning, but that's my guess is what this is going to turn into. So I bought this braid because I have been addicted to pink and orange, like as complementary colors to each other for like, I don't know, a couple of years now. I feel like I just keep gravitating towards pink and orange, which is why I bought that one. And then it was like the end of the day on Sunday, and the woman who runs the place came over and said, oh, here, we're closing up. I'm going to gift you one. So she gifted me another braid. I've already divided it up, but this is the other braid, which is a very similar color set to this. It's more blue, less pink, right? It's more like blues and purples with the orange and not quite these bright pinks, but you've still got bright complementary colors. So the plan is to do a combo spin. So I'm halfway done. This is going to be one ply. This is going to be the second ply. So this has been very enjoyable. It's spinning up super easily. Like butter, some would say. and it's a great anxiety reducer. I highly recommend. So that finally brings me to shop news. Okay, in shop news, I have a new website. Please go check it out. It's pyramiddyworks.com. I finally got off my butt and got myself switched over to a Squarespace site. It's much better. I'm on top of things now. That will link you over to my online shop. I have all of my current stock available there. Please go take a look. I also have naturally dyed hand-woven scarves up in the shop as well. This is another one that just came off the loom. It has yet to be washed, but I have tied my tassels and she's gorgeous. This was dyed with Osage orange and indigo, I'm pretty sure. Please check out the website and the online shop. I will be vending at the first annual Seco Fiber Fest in Arroyo Seco, New Mexico, the first weekend of June. I have that up on my website as well in the events section. I will be adding other events as I add them to my calendar, and I will keep you posted on that as well. You can also find me, I should have said this at the top, on Instagram and Blue Sky as Pyramid Dye Works. Okay, I am going to wrap this up. I will see you guys next time, and yeah, the sun is coming out. It's getting warm. I'm going to have to take off the sweater because it's too hot inside now. And happy crafting to you guys. Do some spinning. Take that anxiety down.